Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to negotiate on this video today, but the first talk of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Patrick Emerick Aubameyang. Now reports did suggest out earlier on this month, this was stemming from Andy Goldstein, who's obviously now a presenter of TalkSport, and he did say that Manchester United are interested in Patrick Emerick Aubameyang. Now, according to the Sports Mail and all that, reportedly Aubameyang is interested in making a move to Manchester United this summer and all that. Aubameyang is a really good player. Like I said, I've always liked Aubameyang, especially in his Dortmund days and all that. Obviously, he has been at Arsenal, since January 2018 and all that. I think Arsenal did pay around £56 million for his services. He has got 2 years left on his deal with Arsenal. Obviously, also Aubameyang has been linked with a move to China and all that. So he has been, linked with the Chinese Super League as Aubameyang. Obviously, we are seeing Patrick Emerick Aubameyang as an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But he is 30 years of age. Like I said, he has got 2 years left on his deal. He's done really well for Arsenal. He has exceeded expectation levels. He has exceeded expectation levels. Obviously, last season, I think he played 36 games in the Premier League, and scored 22 goals. And I think he was the Premier League's joint top goal scorer alongside, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, and all that. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on recommending, Patrick Emerick Aubameyang, and all that. I think, like I did say, I think, it was very unlikely, that Aubameyang, would come to Manchester United and all that. But I think he's primarily a striker, but he can also play as a wide forward, so he can play on the left, and of course he can't play on the right. But he is now 30 years of age, so he obviously he is currently aging up. But like I said, Manchester United and Arsenal have done business in the past. Obviously, I think if we can get the deal over the line for Patrick Emerick Aubameyang, it will be similar, to the deal, with Robin van Persie, because obviously we did get Robin van Persie from Arsenal. He could quite frankly say, that he did win his league back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. Reflecting on the amount of goals, that Robin van Persie scored for Manchester United. Obviously, we got Sanchez as well from Arsenal, back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal with Mkhitaryan. And also, I think Arsenal, got Danny Welbeck from us, was it back in 2014 or 2015? So Manchester United and Arsenal, of course, have done business with each other in recent years and all that. So reportedly, Manchester United are in for Aubameyang, but he's very good in the air. He leads the lines. He can score goals and all that. Because obviously, we do need a striker that can, win them goals, because that was a problem last season when Manchester United, obviously, wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't ruthless enough, of course, in front of a goal. So obviously, we are seeing Aubameyang as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and all that. But probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on recommending him in. But he's 30 years of age now, so obviously he's Premier League proven. But I think Arsenal have only been given around 40 or is it 45 million pounds to spend this summer on players. Obviously, it's going to be difficult, for Arsenal to have a competitive summer transfer window, because obviously, they're not in a Champions League football for next season. But like I also did say, it's going to be hard for us, to attract players to the highest level, because we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But like I said, you can see the deficiencies in the squad. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer. Obviously, wants to fulfill areas where Manchester United are lacking, but obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a squad worthy of the club's history. Obviously he's planning to build an ambitious squad, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. Obviously he wants to recommend he wants to basically recommend a number of young players that could come in, grow and develop and emulate in superstars and all that. So he has worked out his current transfer strategy. But like I said, I do probably expect around 3 or 4 players to leave Manchester United this summer. Maybe 5 may leave Manchester United this summer. But like I said, it's we are going to get the the deal fully finalised there for Wan-Bissaka. I do believe it should be fully finalised there sometime tomorrow morning. I think he has now completed his second medical as Wan-Bissaka. But we do know he's going to be our second signing this summer. Obviously, we've already got Daniel James on the board for £18 million. Obviously, we've got Wan-Bissaka for around £50 million. So obviously, that's going to take our net spend up to around £68 million this summer and all that. But I think now when we do get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka, I think the club need to orchestrate on currently selling players because I do believe we need to sell players to generate funds and obviously help rebuild the squad and all that. Obviously a lot of reports were coming out last week saying that we've only been given £100 million to spend. Obviously they did provide a reason why we've been given £100 million to spend, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season. But like I said, £100 million obviously is nowhere near enough to address the deficiencies in the squad and all that. But when we do get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka, and it is to be believed that we've only been given £100 million to spend. We've only got £32 million to spend on a central defender. A couple of new additions in that midfield, the right winner and the striker and all that. And obviously, we're not going to be able to do that with £32 million. But I do believe, we have been giving them around £200 million to spend and all that. But like I said, I think Aubameyang coming to Manchester United, like I said, if we did get the opportunity to get him, I would really, really like him, to come in, because like I said, he'd bring that firepower up front, he would bring his them goals that we do currently need and all that. So I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. He's still got quite a bit of development in him. Like I said, maybe got at least another 2 years in him as a Patrick Emerick Aubameyang. But now it does say, Manchester United, of course, are in for him. But without Wan-Bissaka anywhere, like I said, he's obviously going to be our second signing this summer. Obviously, it got reported out from the BBC a couple of days ago, which is a very reliable source. Obviously, this was coming from David Ornstein in the BBC. He said, Manchester United have reached now an agreement with Crystal Palace. Obviously, we've agreed a deal worth £50 million. Obviously, it's £45 million up front Manchester United will pay, with £5 million in add-ons, which does potentially rise to £50 million. Obviously, the add-ons are based on the appearances, and Wan-Bissaka has agreed a 5-year contract with an option to extend it by a further year. So it is initially a 6-year deal worth around £80,000 a week. But obviously, Wan-Bissaka is going to get a huge pay rise on his current salary, because obviously, Wan-Bissaka, he's going to get around the £70,000 pay rise on his salary, because he was only on around £10,000 a week at Crystal Palace, and obviously, Wan-Bissaka was Crystal Palace's lowest paid player in their first team squad and all that. But like I said, I'm very, very happy now. We have got Wan-Bissaka on the board, because we have been negotiating with Crystal Palace, about a fee at least in the last 3 weeks and all that. But obviously, as it confirmed at the weekend, we held more extensive talks with Palace. Obviously, again, on Tuesday, we held more extensive talks with Crystal Palace. Now we have come to an agreement to currently get him on the board. But Wan-Bissaka, did basically make it clear, that he does want to join Manchester United this summer. Obviously, we previously, had 2 bids turned down for him. Obviously, the previous bid we had turned down for him was £50 million. Obviously, we paid £35 million up front with £15 million in add-ons. Obviously, Crystal Palace didn't like the structure of the offer, and this is obviously why Crystal Palace had currently turned this down. And obviously, the first bid we'd put in was around £40 million pounds and all that. But now we have come to an agreement, so it's £45 million up front with £5 million in add-ons. It does rise it to £50 million pounds, and obviously, Wan-Bissaka is going to be our 5th most expensive signing. The only players that cost more than Wan-Bissaka is Pogba, Lukaku, Fred, and Angela Di Maria and all that. But I do believe he will be, he will be a fantastic for Manchester United. I do believe he will address our defensive deficiencies, because that fullback position has been a problem, for quite some time. And I don't think we've had a good defensive right back, since we had the likes of Gary Neville and all that. And Wan-Bissaka is only 21 years of age, and I do believe he can be our fullback for the next decade. He's also British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's been a Crystal Palace player since the age of 11. Obviously, initially when he was younger and all that, he was an out-and-out winner, but as he was developing, as he was developing and all that, he got reverted as a fullback. Did Wan-Bissaka, due to his tenacity. Only broke in Crystal Palace's first team. He broke into their senior squad in February of last year, and he did really, really well. And obviously, last season established himself as a first team regular. I think he's made about 46 appearances for Crystal Palace in all competitions. And reflecting on his impressive performances last season, I think he won Crystal Palace Player of the Year, and he did have 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. I thought it would have been official yesterday, but I think it will be made official, tomorrow morning and all that. But I'm very, very excited, about him coming in. Like I said, his defensive capabilities are very, very good. He is proven in the Premier League. His potential is really, really good, and I think he will be a fantastic replacement for Antonio Valencia. I think he'll be a fantastic upgrade to Ashley Young, and he will be a good cover up for Diego Dalot, because obviously, we got Diego Dalot last summer. Diego Dalot obviously is inexperienced at the moment, but Diego Dalot, of course, is the upcoming coming near future. So I think now Wan-Bissaka, has got the abilities, to elevate Manchester United forward. So like I said, he is going to be our second signing this summer. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities are going to be, to obviously get a centre back in, and of course a midfielder in, and hopefully that midfielder is going to be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. And as it has been, been coming out saying that Manchester United now have held more extensive talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent in London over getting a deal secured and all that. It's also confirmed that Liverpool have also held talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent in London. I think he has rejected Liverpool as Bruno Fernandes, because I think he's keen on making the move to Manchester United. Now, Bruno Fernandes did say he favours a move to Manchester United over Tottenham, because obviously we do know Tottenham have been in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously Tottenham have stepped up their interest, as it got confirmed last week, because Tottenham were in negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent last week and all that. But I think he does prefer the move to Manchester United, because I think he believes it will be more beneficial for his career. He did say he was attracted to the history and mystique of Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, but I think it's very imperative that we do get a deal over the line for him. Obviously he's been one of our main priority targets for quite some time, and he has been on our agenda for quite a while as Bruno Fernandes. But I think now we've got the deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka, we are willing to step up our interest in him. Recent reports did say we're not willing to pay up to £70 million for Bruno Fernandes' services. I do believe Sporting Lisbon want around 60 or 70 million pounds, but reportedly Manchester United are reluctant to meet this, but we have been negotiating with his agent over coming to an agreement on the fee and all that. He did initially say last week we'd been in negotiation with his agent, and he did say we only rate Bruno Fernandes at around £49 million. Obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to get the deal concluded for him, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is instructed Ed Woodward has obviously instructed Ed Woodward to speed up a deal to sign Bruno Fernandes, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants the deal secured at the earliest opportunity. Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United could be fully finalised tomorrow, but I think he should be fully finalised maybe sometime this week. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer basically was demanding Bruno Fernandes' arrival by the 1st of July and all that. But I do really like him a lot. Like I said, Tottenham have been in there for him, because obviously we do know that Tottenham obviously looking for the replacement for Christian Eriksen, of course, if he goes. I think Tottenham are closing in on around the £60 million deal for Tango and Ndombele and all that. And obviously, Tottenham want to do business this summer, because obviously Tottenham haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura back in January 2018, and obviously we do know that currently Tottenham. We do know that obviously Mauricio Pochettino is going to want backing this summer and all that. But yeah, there's been quite a few players on their current agenda. It came out last week saying that Liverpool had put a bid in of around 45 million euros. Obviously, this equates to around 40 million in pound sterling. But Liverpool have been in more negotiations with his agent over an improved offer and all that. But I think he probably will end up making the move to Manchester United. Obviously, we have been considered the favourites to actually currently sign him at least for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, this has been coming from the Portuguese press and Bola saying that we have been considered the favourites to get the players' signature and all that. Liverpool Echo did report, was it a couple of days ago, saying that Liverpool are the heavy favourites to sign Bruno Fernandes, but he is only 24 years of age. He is primarily an attacking midfielder, and I think he would be a fantastic adequate replacement for Paul Pogba and all that. But I think Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United, he would rejuvenate his career, he'd take his footballing career to the next level. Also, he would have depth in our midfield, he would bring them goals that we do need in our midfield. He would rejuvenate the team and all that. But it has been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. It looked as though at one point that Manchester City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, as he confirmed a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Manchester City have pulled out of the race now for Bruno Fernandes, and since Manchester City have pulled out, obviously, Liverpool have entered the race, obviously, Tottenham, of course, have entered the race. But I do believe Bruno Fernandes, should be our third signing this summer. He's been at Sporting, there's been a couple of seasons, he scored 31 goals last season. Don't get me wrong, he hasn't, really played to the highest level as yet. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, with the likes of Sampdoria, and obviously underneath and all that, and he still says he follows the Italian football. Obviously he's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023, so it's very, very imminent. He's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon this summer. But the one good thing is he's got all the attributes to definitely succeed in the Premier League, and I think him coming to the Premier League, it would rejuvenate his career and all that. So I'm very, very hopeful he's going to be Manchester United's third signing this summer. But like I said, there has been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. But like I've been updating you with in regards to Paul Pogba and all that, I think now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does actually, want to offload Paul Pogba, and I think the main factor reason why he wants to offload Paul Pogba is obviously, to, generate funds, obviously, help rebuild the squad and all that. And we do know Paul Pogba's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. I do believe he's expected to leave Manchester United this summer. Initially, it was in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to actually, build a side around Paul Pogba. It was actually, initially in his plans, to build a side around Paul Pogba, but I think now obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to currently offload him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still knows how much the imperative player he is, but we do know Paul Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Juventus. He's also been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid, because obviously it's Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling out for his services. Obviously Paul Pogba confirmed a couple of weeks ago, he told reporters in Tokyo that he does want to leave Manchester United and all that. He said he was seeking for a new challenge. Obviously Paul Pogba publicly admitted this for the first time, and he even did say he was willing to go on strike, to force a move away from Manchester United and all that. Paul Pogba's first choice preference for quite some time now has been Real Madrid. His likely destination of course has been Real Madrid, because we do know it's one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. Obviously Real Madrid have done good business so far in this summer transfer window. Obviously they've already got 5 players on the board, and I think they've spent nearly £300 million. I think also Christian Eriksen is on Real Madrid's agenda, but obviously Christian Eriksen probably would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than Paul Pogba. But obviously, we put a huge transfer fee on Paul Pogba. We recently indicated that he's not for sale, but he did say, we would accept a bid in the region of around £150 million. But like I said, recent reports have come out, saying that Paul Pogba has now made a decision on his future, and reportedly, he from his own preference, he's keen on making the return back to Turin and all that. Obviously, the Juventus director was recently speaking, he was explaining, of how much Juventus love Paul Pogba, because he did have 4 good years in Turin and all that. He exceeded expectation levels, but he hasn't really replicated this form, since he did make the return to Manchester United. Obviously, we paid £89 million to him, obviously our most expensive player. Obviously hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he currently would have been and all that. Obviously Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left in his contract, with an option to extend by a further year. But like I did say, with Juventus, probably they would have to offload at least 1 or 2 of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. But Juventus have got a budget, they're doing really good business in this summer window. Obviously, they've got Maurizio Sarri in. I think Juventus have obviously now got Matthijs de Ligt on the board. They've either got him on the board, or they're close to getting him. Obviously, they're getting Adrian Rabiot and all that, or they got Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, they've already got Ramsey and that from Arsenal, so they are doing really, really good business in this window. Juventus, so maybe they would have to offload 1 or 2 of their players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba and all that. But reports were coming out last week, saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, worth up to around £500,000 a week and all that. Obviously, it would make him the highest paid player in the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez. But obviously, this isn't going to be enough anyway, to convince Paul Pogba to stay. Obviously, it came out about 3 weeks ago saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. But we do know Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has obviously been working on, trying to find Paul Pogba a new club, at least in the last couple of months and all that. But it is Real Madrid and Juventus, of course, that are battling now for his services. And we have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form. We mainly saw it in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. That's when we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, because he was in scintillating form, he was scoring goals, he was providing, and we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba when Ander Herrera was currently playing. So that just emphasises how much of an impact Ander Herrera made in that midfield, because obviously he freed up Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's only 26 years of age. And maybe the couple of main factor reasons why he does want to leave Manchester United, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players and he isn't playing amongst good enough players at Manchester United. Maybe he wants to be in Champions League football. Like I said, it's going to be hard for us to get our number 1 targets this summer, but it's also going to be hard for us to convince our players to remain at the football club, because a player Paul Pogba's calibre wants to be in the Champions League, also wants to be challenging and winning silver, and of course he's not experiencing this at Manchester United. Is Paul Pogba, and we want 150 million, and Real Madrid are not willing to pay up to £150 million to him. Like I said, even though he hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, I'd still say Paul Pogba's worth 140 or £150 million. But he did say the other couple of weeks ago, Real Madrid, we're willing to offer as Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba and all that. But I think we get rid of him. It will help, it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course, it will help us with our transition. But I think we get rid of Pogba, we get rid of Lukaku. We can probably generate around £200 million at least for their current departures. Obviously, as I've been updating you, I actually updated you yesterday, in regards to Romelu Lukaku and all that. Obviously, we do know he's been relentlessly, linked with move to Inter Milan as Romelu Lukaku. Now, a lot of reports were coming out yesterday, basically saying now that Inter Milan, reportedly, want to loan Romelu Lukaku out for the next 2 seasons. This was coming from Sky Italy, it was stemming from there, saying that Inter Milan will reportedly offer Manchester United a £9 million loan fee, to loan Lukaku out for the next 2 years, with then the obligation to buy for a further £54 million. So obviously, this adds up to around £63 million in total. I don't think Manchester United would be able to go along with this, because obviously we do want to get rid of Lukaku permanently, and I can't see Manchester United waiting for the majority of the money in the next 2 seasons and all that. But obviously, the fee has is problematic, for Inter Milan, because obviously, we've said we want around £75 million. Obviously, Inter Milan are struggling to generate enough funds, to meet that £75 million valuation. But yeah, we're basically, looking to recoup the majority of the money, that we did pay for Everton a couple of years ago, because obviously we paid £75 million for him. Obviously there were £15 million in add-ons including the deal, which did potentially rise to around £90 million. And of course, Lukaku has still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week with Manchester United. But obviously, as it did get confirmed, was it on Tuesday, that obviously, Lukaku's agent had been to Milan. He'd held negotiations with Inter Milan, because we do know that Lukaku's agent is working on, trying to get Lukaku's move to Inter Milan completely, because Lukaku's agent has confirmed that Lukaku does want to leave Manchester United, and he's also, currently confirmed that, Inter Milan are still, working on trying to currently sign him and all that. But I do believe everything has been agreed, between Inter Milan and Romelu Lukaku, except the fee. I think Lukaku has agreed the personal terms, he's agreed a deal with them worth around £180,000 a week and all that. But obviously, Inter Milan have been negotiating a fee with us and all that. But the fee, seems to be problematic at the moment, because like I said, Inter Milan are struggling, to generate enough funds. Like I said, but obviously, it's Antonio Conte's, number one target, and obviously, Lukaku did confirm a couple of weeks ago, he described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. Obviously, Lukaku is eager, to play under Antonio Conte's guidance, because probably Lukaku believes he will flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. Obviously, reflecting back a couple of years ago when Antonio Conte was the manager of Chelsea, at that point, he wanted Romelu Lukaku, but obviously, he ended up making the move to Manchester United and all that. So we do know Lukaku's been at Manchester United 2 years. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club in all competitions, and he was exceptional in his first season with Manchester United. But obviously, Lukaku didn't replicate that in his second season, because obviously, under Mourinho, Lukaku was first choice, but obviously, since Jose Mourinho left and all that, and since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice has been Marcus Rashford, and obviously, Lukaku was obviously, been playing a backup role to Marcus Rashford, but we do know Lukaku wants to leave, because he's back, he's reluctant, to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. I think his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. His Lukaku's, his ratio is very, very good, because he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League, but you do know that I've I got strong reservations about him. Obviously, Inter Milan have offered us, Mario Cardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku, and like I said, I think Mario Cardi, would be a good, adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Mario Cardi is a very, very good player. He's served 6 years with Inter Milan. Obviously, I think his stats are very, very impressive. I think his goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. I think he's made 188 appearances for Inter Milan. Scored 111 goals, and that's very, very impressive. I think he enjoyed a difficult season last season with Inter Milan, because obviously Inter Milan have increasingly become frustrated with him and all that. Obviously, I think he also, lost the captaincy, back in February. But Mario Cardi has spent the majority of his career in Italy. Obviously, he's only 26 years of age, so he has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. But I have got some reservations about Mario Cardi. Some of his defensive contribution concerns me. Some of his touches and that concern me. But his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic. And I think, if he came to Manchester United, he would bring his them goals that would do currently need. And he's obviously, Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. So Cardi has been offered as part of the deal for Romelu Lukaku, because Inter Milan want to get rid of Mario Cardi. Obviously, they've tried offering, as Ivan Perisic plus cash for Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, again, Manchester United have turned this down, because obviously we do know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. So I'm hopeful, that we can, currently sanction Romelu Lukaku. But like I said, there's been quite a few players on our agenda, who we have been in for, who could, currently replace him. Like I said, Aubameyang, I think, would be a fantastic replacement for him. Obviously, recently, there's been talks of Ben Yedder from Sevilla. There has been a lot of talks about him, currently going on. Ben Yedder is 28 years of age, so he's a highly experienced forward. He is French, of course. He made his full international, he made his full international debut, I think, last year, and all that. Like I said, he's 28 years of age. He has been at Sevilla 3 years. As Ben Yedder, I think, his goal scoring pedigree is supposed to be very, very good, because I'm reading some of his stats from last season for Sevilla, and last season he scored 30 goals, provided 11 assists in 54 matches, so that is very impressive. He's under contract with Sevilla until 2021, and I think his initial release clause is around 35 million pounds and all that. But he did say Manchester United are interested in him. Of course, I think we're only willing to go in for Ben Yedder, of course, if Lukaku does leave the club this summer. But he did say Manchester United are willing to trigger his 35 million pound release clause. Obviously, his former club is Toulouse. Sevilla got him back in 2016 from Toulouse for around 9 million pounds. I think he's about 5'7". So do you think he would be a good replacement for Romelu Lukaku? So there has been quite a few players on our agenda, of course, who could replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club. But like I said, I do believe our expectations, going on into this season, probably, we'll be able to finish in the top 4, maybe in the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. I don't think our expectation, will be to win the league or challenge for the league and all that, because I do believe, we're at least a couple of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up or winning league, because obviously we do know at the moment Manchester City strides ahead of us, obviously, Liverpool strides ahead of us, but I do believe in the next couple of seasons, anywhere, our aspirations is definitely now going to be that top 4 and all that. But like I said, we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. We've been a toxic club, since Alex Ferguson retired. And the main factor reason why we have been a toxic club, because obviously, we've been mismanaged. Obviously, we have been underachieving and all that. We've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club and all that. So looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still in the process of rebuilding. Obviously, we need to see vast improvements anyway going into this season. So this is why it's very imperative that we do get the right players to Manchester United this summer, because last season was disappointing. We finished 6th. Of course, we didn't win any silverware and all that. And like I said, I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's lots to address in the squad, and I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got the status to get us in that commanding position, of course, where we do currently want to be. He hasn't really got the experience of manager to the highest level. That's what does currently concern me. He was a great player for Manchester United, for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. In the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. Like I said, I hope it works out for him. I think the club needs to give him maybe at least a year, or maybe even a couple of years and all that, to see how it works out, because, we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, because obviously we've already sacked 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson retired and all that. So, I hope, it does currently work out for him. But like I said, we've got, we're working on bringing players in, but we've also, got to work on, getting rid of the Deadwood at Manchester United. Obviously, I think we're going to sell Darmian this summer. We're also going to sell Rojo this summer. I think we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their departures. Obviously, Darmian and Rojo have both enjoyed difficult times at the club. We do know that Valencia is leaving. We do know Ander Herrera, of course, is leaving on a free transfer. So obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him in that that midfield. Obviously, we do know now De Gea and Juan Mata, of course, are going to be staying at the club. Obviously, with Sanchez, I'm not too sure about Alexis Sanchez, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because Manchester United said I find it very, very difficult, to offload Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, this is reflecting on his substantial wages. Obviously, no one's going to be able to afford him, because obviously, Sanchez is on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. And Sanchez's wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. But Sanchez is one of the problematic players, so it's very imperative that we do currently find a way to get rid of him. I think the only way we can get rid of him is putting him on long-season loan, and probably Manchester United, coming to some kind of agreement, of paying him half of his wages off and all that. But Sanchez is no future at the club anyway. He's 30. He has lost that yard of pace and all that. But Sanchez hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, because obviously he had 4 good years at Arsenal. He even played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona, and he did flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance. But obviously, hasn't replicated this at Manchester United. Like I said, he's been here since January 2018, and he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United. He's also become injury prone. Obviously, has lacked goals and all that. I know he's versatile, but when we've mainly played Sanchez, we have put him on that left hand side. So these are possibilities, chance. He could still be applying his trade with Manchester United. Next season could Sanchez. I think also, Nemanja Matic, needs to currently go, but I think, he's obviously going to be at Manchester United next season, because Matic is too inconsistent, he's too slow in that midfield, he's aging up and all that, and I do believe we need a holding midfield, someone that's fast and tenacious, Fellaini left back in January, so we're obviously going to need a replacement for him. Obviously, Scott McTominay, of course, is too inexperienced at the moment, so I think I do believe we need a holding midfielder without a shadow of a doubt. But like I was saying about Bruno Fernandes, I think he would be a fantastic adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But there's been quite a few players, who Manchester United have been in for who could replace Paul Pogba. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would like to see, James Maddison get recommended in. And I like James Maddison a lot. And I think he reported out last week saying that James Maddison was allegedly interested, in meeting up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he did say he's allegedly interested in a move to Manchester United this summer. He did say James Maddison has got reservations about joining Manchester United, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season and all that. But I think quite a few teams have been tracking James Maddison, since he was a teenager at Coventry, because obviously we do know that James Maddison began his career with Coventry and all that. But I do really like him a lot. He's primarily attacking midfielder. He is only 22 years of age. He's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Obviously last season was his debut season in the Premier League with Leicester. Obviously, he did really well last season. He played 36 games in the Premier League. He scored 7 goals, provided 7 assists, so he was involved in 14 goals. Obviously, James Maddison last season as well, created more chances than any other player in the Premier League and all that. So his stats are very impressive and all that. Obviously, Leicester got him last summer from Norwich for around £20 million. He initially signed a 5-year deal with Leicester. He's obviously got 4 years left on his deal now with Leicester. Obviously, he did have a good couple of seasons in the Championship with Norwich. He also, I think, had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen and all that. But I think it came out about this 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that Manchester United were in for him. He did say, we made initial contact and all that, and he did basically say, if Leicester were to sell him this summer, they would want around £60 million for his services, and I think Manchester United, would be more than happy, to currently pay that. But yeah, I would be keen on recommending, James Maddison, and he can score goals, he can provide, he's really good at creating chances, as he did prove last season. Even if James Maddison doesn't leave this summer, obviously at some point in his career he's going to want to rejuvenate his career, obviously take his footballing career to the next level. So I do believe he will be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously there's been a lot of talk, going on about Youri Tielemans from Leicester as well. Well, initially now Monaco, because obviously he has now returned back to Monaco. Obviously he had been on loan with Leicester since January, Youri Tielemans, so he's had about 5-6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and Youri Tielemans was very impressive throughout his loan spell with Leicester. Now obviously Leicester have stepped up their interest, they're now keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Obviously Leicester have been in negotiations with Monaco about this, and he is available for a reasonable figure. Monaco rate him at around £40 million. Monaco are open to selling him, but £40 million is a reasonable figure. Quite a few people have said we should should be sensible with our recruitment this summer and all that, because I think we actually are moving away from the policy of signing them established players. Because like I said, it's not always about spending big on players. It's not always about of course getting them Galactico players and all that. But he confirmed them the other week, saying that we'd rekindled our interest in Yuri Tillemans. It did say, we'd been in negotiations with his agent over getting a possible deal concluded and all that. It also Tottenham have been in for him, also Manchester City have been in for him, but he is 22 years of age. I think he's actually primarily box-to-box midfielder, but I think he can also play as attacking midfielder, Yuri Tillemans. So it did say we've been in for him, and I think he would be a good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba and all that. Also, Manchester United are in for Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Obviously, there was, I think, reports reflected out about him last week. It did say Manchester United are close to agreeing around the £25 million deal for Sean Longstaff and all that. I think he's mainly a box-to-box midfielder. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously, began his career with Newcastle. I think it was his first season in the senior squad with Newcastle last season. I think he played about 9 games under Rafael Benitez. Like I said, obviously didn't play the remainder of the last couple of months of last season, due to that he did sustain a knee ligament injury, back in March, and he didn't play the remainder of the last couple of months of last season and all that. Is he still recovering from this knee ligament injury, Sean Longstaff? I'm not, too currently sure, but he does say, Manchester United have been in there for him. But yeah, like I said, there has been quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. I do believe we need to get 2 new additions in that midfield, like I currently said, but I do believe, Bruno Fernandes is actually the top priority and all that. Like I said to you yesterday, I'm sceptical of Manchester United getting a right winner in, because we definitely no need to get a right winner in. Like I said, there's been quite a few winners on our agenda. Obviously, it's good news that I said we need to address that right hand side. Obviously, we've got the right back in through Wan-Bissaka, but I think we definitely no need to get a right winner in. But like I said, I am sceptical about it. Don't get me wrong, there has been quite a few on our agenda. Obviously, there's been a lot of talks about Nicolas Pepe, currently going on. He's the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United. I'm very sceptical about, Nicolas Pepe coming to Manchester United. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I don't see him coming in. Nicolas Pepe has been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, a lot of teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, the Lille chairman had made an admission about 5 or 6 weeks ago, saying obviously, Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille this summer, but it still remains uncertain, where he will be applying his trade next season and all that. So the teams that have been in for him, recent reports have said that I think that Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid are considered the favourites to get the player's signature. Obviously, Inter Milan have stepped up their interest in Nicolas Pepe. I think they're allegedly planning to put a bid in for him around £80 million. I think they've initially already lodged around a £54 million bid in for him. Also, Bayern Munich have been in for him, because obviously Bayern Munich are looking, for a replacement for Arjen Robben. They're also looking for a replacement for Frank Ribery. Also, Liverpool have been in for him, but recent reports have reflected out now saying that Liverpool have dropped their interest. I think also, PSG have been in for him. And I think from Nicolas Pepe's preference, he wants to make the move to PSG. Obviously, we do know Manchester United are set to go back in for him now. So, yeah, quite a lot of teams have been in there for Nicolas Pepe. I think at one point, Real Madrid were also, in for him. So, it's been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation, but I think Lille do rate him at around £70 million. But Duncan Castles broke out with the news, it was quite some time ago now, it might have been about 4 weeks ago. He said Manchester United and Liverpool had made initial contact with Lille over the possibility of signing Nicolas Pepe. Also, Liverpool had been in negotiations with Nicolas Pepe's agent. But Nicolas Pepe is a very, very good player. He's only 24 years of age. Obviously, so far has spent the entirety of his career in France. He has been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think he scored 37 goals in 79 appearances for them in all competitions as Nicolas Pepe. 37 goals in 79 appearances in all competitions. He's still got 3 years left on his deal with Lille. Obviously, last season was the revelation for Lille. Scored 22 goals, provided 11 assists. Like I said, he is primarily a winner. He is only 24 years of age, and I would love the prospect of Nicolas Pepe, linking up the likes of Martial and Rashford in our attacking line, because I think he would blend in really, really well. And I think if he does come to the Premier League, it will rejuvenate his career. Of course, it will take his footballing career to the next level, and I do believe it will be the next step for Nicolas Pepe and all that. But he can score goals, he can provide, he's really, really good at creating chances and all that. But we do know Manchester United, of course, have been in for him, but I don't think he will make the move to Manchester United. But like I did say initially, I think the likes of Nicolas Pepe, Jadon Sancho, and even Hirving Lozano from PSV, are a much better solution than Gareth Bale and all that. But yeah, there has been quite a few winners on our current agenda and all that. Like currently said. Obviously, we do know that we need to recommend a central defender, to come in, and that's very, very imperative. Like I said, that's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities. Is obviously to get a central defender in, because obviously we do need someone to link up with Victor Lindelof in our backline, and probably a vast majority of Manchester United fans do believe we need two central defenders, because like I said, Smalling's not good enough. Phil Jones of course is not good enough, and obviously Smalling and Jones have been too long serving players at the club. Obviously, Smalling's been here 9 years. Of course, Phil Jones has been here 8 years, and they're too inconsistent now. They're not good enough to represent Manchester United. It was a bad mistake, for Manchester United, giving them two new long-term contracts. So probably we do need at least one central defender and all that. And obviously, I think maybe quite a lot of Manchester United fans, would like to see, maybe Issa Diop, coming from West Ham now. Obviously, Manchester United have been in for Issa Diop at least in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, it did say, that Issa Diop, was keen on making a move to Manchester United, but reportedly West Ham have priced him out of the transfer market. I don't think West Ham, want to offload him. It did say West Ham want at least around £60 million, but some reports were speculating saying now they want around £75 million for him. I don't think he's worth £75 million. Issa Diop and all that. Obviously, Issa Diop has obviously had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Last season was his debut season in the Premier League with West Ham. I think he played about 33 games for West Ham last season and all that. Obviously, West Ham got him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. He is only 22 years of age. I do presume he's very good in the air, because he's 6'4", so he is tall. I think he's a very, very good athlete and all that. Is Issa Diop. He's still got 4 years remaining on his contract with West Ham, but Manchester United of course have been in there for him. Reports reflected out the other week, saying that we'd put a bid in for him of around £45 million, plus we'd offered Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issa Diop, but obviously West Ham had instantly rejected this, and it also said if West Ham were willing to offload him, it did say they wanted Anthony Martial in exchange for Issa Diop, but I don't think Manchester United are orchestrating on selling Anthony Martial, because obviously we do know how much of an imperative player that Anthony Martial is and all that. But looking at Issa Diop, would be a cheaper solution than Harry Maguire. He would be a cheaper solution than Koulibaly from Napoli and all that. So looking at it from the financial point of view, he is a cheaper alternative and all that. But the question is, can we come to can we come to an agreement to get a deal over the line for Issa Diop? I think I was also reading reports the other day, and they were basically saying we was willing to offer around £40 million, plus we was willing to give West Ham the choice, between Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo and all that. But again, I don't think West Ham are currently interested in and all that. Like I updated you on my previous video that I did yesterday, obviously there was a lot of talks going on about Harry Maguire from Leicester. Now it has confirmed now that Manchester United have pulled out of the race for Harry Maguire. That has basically confirmed, based on the huge transfer fee that Leicester have put on him, because obviously Leicester have priced him out of the transfer market. Obviously Leicester are demanding an extortionate amount, but now reportedly we've pulled out of the race, because it does now say Leicester want around £100 million. It does say they want around 90 million up front, over 10 million in add-ons and all that. So now reportedly, we have pulled out of the race for him. But reports have been speculating out this week, saying that it did say Harry Maguire wants to make the move to Manchester City. He also told his friends he will be signing for Manchester City, and it did say Harry Maguire. Well, it did say Manchester City, were set to sign Harry Maguire for around they were set to sign Harry Maguire for a world record fee of £80 million. Obviously, this would make Harry Maguire the most expensive defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who, of course, Liverpool paid £75 million for. And it also did say Manchester City are willing to pay Harry Maguire around £280,000 a week. So it did say City are set to sign him, but I think it did confirm that the the negotiations between Manchester City and Leicester have currently hit a stumbling block, based on the huge transfer fee, Leicester are currently demanding. It did say, City are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for services, and it did initially say, City only rate him at around £50 million, but I think City are willing to pay at the most around £65 million for Harry Maguire and all that. But I do really like Harry Maguire. He's a good central defender and all that, and he's proven him in the Premier League. But he's not worth 80 or 90 million pounds. He's Harry Maguire. He's a yak. But looking at ultimately anyway, Leicester don't want to sell him, and this is the main factor is why they have currently priced him out of the transfer market. But anyway, Harry Maguire's keen on making the move to Manchester City because obviously he wants to play under Pep Guardiola's guidance, because probably Harry Maguire believes he'll flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that. And obviously if he does leave Leicester, it will rejuvenate his career. Obviously it will take his footballing career to the next level. Obviously if he does go to Manchester City, he will be playing alongside the likes of John Stones and Laporte and all that. I think City probably will consider offloading Otamendi, of course, if they do get the deal secured for Harry Maguire. And obviously Manchester City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But Manchester United have been in for Harry Maguire for quite some time, because obviously he has been one of our main priority targets. Harry Maguire has been relentlessly linked to move to Old Trafford since last summer, because actually Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho did want last summer. But obviously we didn't get as number one targets last summer, because obviously the board weren't backing the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. But one of the players Jose Mourinho wanted, like I said, was Harry Maguire. And I think Leicester said they wanted around £70 million for him last summer. But of course we do know that Manchester United were reluctant to currently pay that. And the rumours have continued to persist since last summer, linking Harry Maguire with a move to Manchester United. Confirmed the other week saying that we was confident we could beat Manchester City to the signing of him, and was confident we could outbid Manchester City to his services, because he did say we was willing to pay more than Manchester City, because obviously City are not willing to pay up to £80 million for him. But Ed Woodward was keen on recommending Harry Maguire in. He even did say we was willing to offer him a contract worth up to around £350,000 a week. But Harry Maguire is 26, like I said. He's still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. He is British. His defensive ability is very, very good. He does show that ability to play out from the back. He has been at Leicester a couple of seasons. I think he's played 76 games for Leicester in all competitions, 76 appearances made in all competitions. Obviously 69 of them have come in the Premier League, and Leicester did get him from Hull City for around £17 million back in 2017. He did serve a couple of years with Hull. He also, I think, had a loan spell with Wigan, and obviously Harry Maguire, began his career with Sheffield United as a youngster, and obviously graduated from their youth system, and I think he played around 166 professional games. But Harry Maguire, does want to leave Leicester, but now the huge transfer fee Leicester have put on him, that could be the stumbling block of Harry Maguire, currently leaving Leicester. So he could possibly, remain at Leicester now. But Leicester have basically notified us, if we want to get Harry Maguire, we have to pay around £100 million. But obviously we do know Manchester United are reluctant to currently pay that. So yeah, like I said, that's mainly everything to update you with. Like the main part of this video, was to give you the latest news about Aubameyang, talk a bit with you more about Bruno Fernandes, keep you up to date with Wan-Bissaka. Like I said, it should be fully finalised in the morning. With Aubameyang, I think he would be a great addition to Manchester United squad, if he was to come in. Reportedly now he's keen on joining Manchester United. Like I said, even though he has been linked to move to the Chinese Super League and all that. Like I said, he's got 2 years left in his contract with Arsenal. I said there was a possibility chance, like could sign a new contract with Arsenal and all that. I think it also says that Arsenal are in for Wilfried Zaha. Probably need to read up a bit more about Wilfried Zaha and all that. But he reportedly says Arsenal have only been given around £40 or £45 million to spend this summer. Probably, obviously, them funds are not going to be enough, to address the deficiencies in Arsenal's squad. Because, like I said, Arsenal have got issues defensively and all that. Haven't really been following much of Arsenal's transfer news. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, probably may look a bit up to it. But yeah, like I did say, like I said, I'm very, very happy that Wan-Bissaka is going to be coming in. I think he has now completed his second medical for Manchester United, and it will be official in the morning, I do presume. And all. I thought it would have been made official yesterday, like I said, on my video I did the other night. But obviously I think it will be made official in the morning. So anyway, guys, drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.